Hi, I'm Andrew from Creative Guitar. Thanks for tuning into my weekly guitar blog. It is Friday, July 2nd, 2010. Well, this week I've got lawsuits, rappers, and musicians' wages. But first off, Led Zeppelin is being sued for alleged plagiarism of their classic song, Dazed and Confused. Apparently, the song Dazed and Confused was actually written by an American folk singer named Jake Holmes in 1967. Now, this is a crazy story because Jimmy Page and his then band, the Yardbirds, heard Jake's song in '67 when Jake Holmes opened for them at a festival. Page evidently liked it. He did a version of it with the Yardbirds, but they shortly thereafter broke up. And Page took the song onto Led Zeppelin, and they reworked it, then recorded it, and in 1968 they released it on Led Zeppelin's first album. Now, this entire story is not anything new in terms of news. There's just mountains and mountains of information about this on the internet. Holmes has basically been attempting to settle this matter with Page now for 40 years. Okay, so listen, make sense of this yourself. Page took the title, it's called Dazed and Confused. He took the groove, he took the melody, the bass line from the beginning, a melody from off the top of the track, and he, of course, he also took the name. Both songs are called Dazed and Confused. Listen to a clip of the song off of Jake's album. It is essentially the same song.
I'm dazed and confused. Does it stay, does it go? Am I being choosed? Well, I'd just like to know.
In 1968, Page claims he went and came up with a new set of lyrics and felt that he changed up Jake's song enough to escape a plagiarism lawsuit from Holmes. But Jimmy Page, get a clue, it's not your song, okay? Give the guy a few bucks. He's 70 years old now. Maybe he can have a slightly more comfortable retirement. The statute of limitations only allows Holmes 3 years back pay on the settlement anyway. Page, you've enjoyed royalties off the song since 1968. Give the poor old fart a few bucks and piece him off. He wrote the song. Jeez. Now, another article that points toward the lawsuit side of things this week, it was the announcement of the Canadian rapper Drake, formerly of the CTV pop idol television show Degrassi High. He's getting sued for his new hit single called Best I Ever Had. Now, before I go any further, let me explain something here. You gotta realize several corporations have started buying up publishing rights to old hits. And one of the big players in this scene has been the Playboy Corporation. See, here's a music business tip for you guys. You must remember all the money is in the publishing rights. So anyway, Playboy Publishing Enterprises is suing Drake for sampling the 1975 Hamilton, Joe Frank and Reynolds Band's AM radio hit. It was called Fallin in Love, for which Playboy currently owns the rights to. Now, Drake's producer basically used it without permission by sampling it for the intro to his new hit single. Now, believe it or not, I've actually had people emailing me saying I should do an analysis of this lawsuit. Why? It's a sample, guys. It is the actual song. There's nothing to analyze. It's actually not even copyright infringement in a court of law. It's simply called or referred to as sampling, also otherwise known as death of imagination. But here is my personal message to rap producers like Drake's about sampling, okay? Do something new for once. Grab a guitar or whatever, a banjo or something, anything, and write a song, okay? And stop regurgitating the same garbage over and over again. Here's an idea. Learn to play an instrument. Learn to play your own instrument, for that matter. Or, you know what, if you're lazy, hire musicians and hang out with them. They're usually pretty cool people. Write your own chord changes and melodies with them. You'd be surprised how much fun it is to play a part in actually writing your own song and feel good about it. But anyway, that's probably not going to happen. I've explained this before, but let me explain this again. Most all of these so-called pop, hip-hop, rap hits these days are generally music industry, computer algorithm-generated jingles made by producers. And what makes them a hit is a system. It's a series of money-centric techniques and tactics that's used by the industry. It goes something like this, like, algorithm number 1, assemble said jingle. Number 2, get a popular face to sing it and promote it. Number 3, use established digital distribution network to reach young people who have disposable income and no musical frame of reference. Click, click, click. That's it, folks. I said these days that this happens, but you know what? This is nothing new, really. In fact, go watch a great movie called Standing in the Shadows of Motown, and you'll quickly realize it's pretty amazing how little music has ever really been created by the actual people that we identify it with. So anyway, let's move on to the question of the week. It's from Hal out in Ottawa, Ontario. Hal's writing me saying, Andrew, I'd like to become a freelance musician, but everyone I meet says don't bother, because firstly, I won't ever make any decent money. Secondly, it's all who you know, and if you don't know the right people, you just won't make any money. And third, the whole industry is full up of drug addicts. Andrew, what does the average musician actually make? Well, I'd hate to agree with what you've been told, but that was a pretty accurate description. Most gigs don't really pay much. A lot of this industry has to do precisely with who you get to know, who you do know, maybe who your family knows, etc. And there are a ton of people who are heavy into drugs that are involved in this industry. So basically, if you want to be involved in this industry, you'll need to be aware of all this and learn how to navigate through it. But onto your question. This is a huge question out there. What does the average musician make? Well, to get some solid info on this subject, I'd first suggest you'll want to spend a lot of time on a fantastic website called musicianswages.com. So just to quickly skim the surface of wages, the top paying gigs would probably be something like musical director, conductor, different types of teaching gigs, even a private teaching thing you get going for yourself, the musical theater industry, and of course playing the wedding industry, which is what I'm doing right after I wrap up recording this video. I have a wedding to go do. So in terms of details though, like a music director or conductor might earn as much as $60,000 to $120,000, just depending on where they're working basically. Symphony players' wages are kind of all over the map. Maybe a smaller symphony, smaller cities might be as low as $25,000. Larger symphonies, more reputable symphonies, maybe $120,000. Teaching privately can net you sometimes between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. If you're working for a major college or university, of course, it's going to go up a lot from there, maybe $80,000 or $100,000 a year. Being involved in the wedding industry is very good. It can net you around $50,000 a year if you're really diligent about it and you do a lot of work into it. But most all other gigs are below the $25,000 per year mark. So yes, not a lot of money. And this is why most musicians not heavily involved in those industries I just mentioned also do work day jobs. So my tips to you are, number one, get a really solid music education. Work hard in your life at becoming an excellent communicator, and basically pursue the higher end positions in this industry so you can do well for yourself and actually fully enjoy being a musician. And that's what I'm going to go do right now. I'm going to go do a wedding. So that's about all the time I have for today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll be vlogging again next week. Take care, and bye for now. We'll see you next time.